today we are going to be checking out Dead Island 2. How does the story connect to the original Dead Island?
There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I love the action, bro.
Throughout Dead Island 2's game design, as well as narrative design, as well as
got the
everything
designers.
else, we've tried to keep zombies at the core, you know, at the center of the experience, and that means plot-wise as well.
Needed. You have to keep the zombies, bro. You can't be switching up to some next
Dead
thing.
Island 2 is a bit of a reboot. We've shifted the tone a little bit, and we wanted to start the tale of the zombie from scratch. But we also wanted it to be a continuation of the original Dead Island. So although Dead Island and Riptide are considered canon, and we've made a kind of statement to that fact with the inclusion of Sam B in the game, we are moving on for a new generation, and this is the real kind of tale of the zombie and your relationship with the zombie.
Now I have to say, now that is a great idea that they rebooted it. The game was going through a few different companies, I believe, and bro, I'm happy that a company has finally, well, a company and a group of people has finally found a futuristic like approach of continuing the franchise and making the original Dead Island fans proud on the innovation that they can continue going forward. And I think this was a good move, I have to say. Oh yeah. Ooh.
We
That's
felt the
it.
story for the first one, although compelling and involving, was a kind of standard zombie tale. You know, there were plots within schemes, within conspiracies, within evil biotech companies and things like that, and it was all kind of standard but didn't necessarily take us anywhere unique. And that's what we wanted to do with our zombies. We wanted to create a world for the zombies that meant something uniquely Dead Island and fitted in with the new tone.
Yeah, I have to say I totally agree. Like the first Dead Island, as much as I love it, the story did not really intrigue me, like, to be honest. Like, of course it has a few things that are kind of interesting, but after you've done a few missions, you feel like you're pretty much doing kind of the same thing in different locations, and including in Riptide, it did feel kind of like just going doing the same thing over and over again. The only thing that, in my opinion, that I really found interesting about the original Dead Island is that the way you can just have so many different weapons to kill the enemies, the zombies, of course. Like, I really found that extremely interesting, and I'm so glad that it seems like they are like trying to make the story a bit more catchy, a bit more intriguing, because I think it would really help with this Dead Island 2 game, because it, after all of these years of all of the original Dead Island fans waiting, they really deserve, in my opinion, a great Dead Island 2 to really represent a Dead Island game that honestly I can see guys playing for years. Like, it'll take them a few years to make the third one. I can see them hopefully putting expansions and stuff like that. I know it's a bit controversial, like some people's like, I don't really like expansions and stuff like that, but like, at least if the game is popular enough and they're putting good focus on it, I can see a good reason for expansions.
The first game, it's a human story about humans. Like a lot of zombie IPs, zombies are a useful narrative device, they're a useful backdrop, they're a setting and a mood more than they are central to the plot. And throughout Dead Island 2's game design, as well as narrative design, as well as everything else, we've tried to keep zombies at the core, you know, at the center of the experience, and that means plot-wise as well. You know, we wanted to make sure that fans of Dead Island 1 also didn't feel like we'd pulled a fast one on them, like we had drawn them in with the title and then started from complete scratch and, you know, ignored the emotional and personal connections they had to the universe that Dead Island is set in.
It might be handy for players to view this as kind of chapter one, so we are setting up a trajectory. We like this idea of forum fodder. We like throwing leads out there for the community to sort of what if about. You know, we've given it quite a certain direction when it comes to that story arc.
There are a lot of answers buried around the world. We just haven't sort of force-fed them to the players or, you know, required you to understand world-building information to be able to have a good time and kill some zombies and cause a little mayhem. But if you are interested, you should look around. There are clues that relate to Dead Island 1 as well when it comes to Sam B, as obviously is in there and is the story. There might be another clue or two scattered around about maybe one or two other characters from the first franchise. But also, again, if you look, there might be clues as to the outbreaks themselves in the earlier games.
Now I have to say, now that is great that we know that we're gonna get pretty much a lot of Easter eggs from the previous games, and I believe that the guy that we played before, yeah, of the other guy except for Sam B, that this guy was like an American football guy. We're probably gonna hear some mentions of him. We're probably gonna see a fan of his. Like, that would be really exciting to be seeing something like that, because I think that would probably happen still. And I'm really happy that they kept Sam B, because I'll be honest, Sam B was my favorite character. I've used him multiple times. Like, bro, it is so sick. Like, I always love the song "Who Do You Voodoo Bitch." It is so sick, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I always love that, and I'm so glad that they're keeping it like the same. Like, it's the same Dead Island essence, but they just upgraded it, and I'm honestly seeing that, and it feels like they are really aware of not doing what other game companies have done in the past, like take a certain one and try go a whole nother direction, and then it's a complete flop. Like, it's no connection to the original thing, and it's not really innovation to anything new. They don't want to make that mistake, and it seems like it's paying off well. Sick. Yeah, the weapon breaks.
We have one or two sort of real lore enthusiasts who know the Dead Island 1 lore inside, out, upside down, and through, and we're able to suggest Easter eggy details. We're able to flag any potential conflict or any potential contradiction of existing lore or IP. So we have worked hard to make sure that it's not contradicting anything from Dead Island 1, that those who are fans of the story and fans of that universe will find those fun little moments, those little callbacks, that people who are not familiar with it are not going to need to be, that they're going to be able to experience a good story on its own merits, and that we essentially really respected the tone of the gameplay in particular of Dead Island 1. Both Dead Islands, I think, are very, very gameplay centric, and that is as it should be, because it's a wonderful, pulpy, over-the-top, combat-centric, gory as hell experience for the players, and making the tone and the content of the stories, of the dialogue, match that over-the-top, pulpy feeling is really what we doubled down on, and that was what some of the challenges were about. Is like, that's a really cool story, it's very moving. It doesn't really fit with what this is, with what we're trying to do here. How can we make it, how can we pump it up? How can we make it more sort of fun, over-the-top? Who's left in LA after it's evacuated? Not people who are on the ball, necessarily. So who are they? You know, what do they want? What quest are they sending you on?
Do you have pizza?
Of course I do. Now let us in.
Yeah. Well, if I open this door, a whole load of zombies might rush in, and I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing.
We started with a set of Slayers, our 6 player characters, each with their own dialogue and personality. So, you know, you can play right through the game as one character and then start again, and you'll get, even though the story is the same, you'll get a different perspective and a different play style. And,
different experience.
A different experience, yeah.
Now I have to say, now this is amazing that they actually continued the rise of the amount of characters that you can pick, because in the original Dead Island you can only pick 4 characters, in Riptide 5, and now we actually have 6, and it's really nice that we get a few different types of characters as well. And you guys already know that I'm going to be picking the British character, because you know I have to be repping it for the mandem, you know how it is. And yeah guys, like I thought I would just mention that very quickly, because I think it's good to know that they are like actually focused on developing and continuing the original Dead Island lore and everything. I'm so glad that they were so focused on putting stuff that doesn't conflict against the original lore and stuff like that, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud that they actually like implemented it and did it with that mindset, because I'll be very honest, there's a lot of companies that does not really seem like they put a lot of passion into the games and the development. And for a game that is as difficult as Dead Island 2, because a few companies was trying to release this game but they just couldn't, they did not have the confidence on what they could do. And I'm so glad to see people with passion is able to implement it. I'm so happy to see that.
Survivors. Okay.
Los Angeles is hit with a zombie outbreak. They are dealing with it. The military seem suspiciously on hand to be able to cope with the quarantine and the evacuation and the processing of evacuees.
Startlingly competent, startling on the ball, and startlingly on time.
And so that's the metaphorical island, right? So Los Angeles is in lockdown, in quarantine, and everybody's trying to get out by hook or crook. And the story starts with our players being one of many people who have kind of bribed, cajoled, snuck on, or whatever, the last flight out of LA, and that flight doesn't quite make it.
Now I have to say, guys, this was an amazing video. I'm really happy with the creators of the game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they did an amazing job of talking about everything that they was like the mindset behind the like putting the game together. And I'm not gonna lie, I was just really blown away that they actually put some thought into their project. I'm so happy to see it, and we're literally like days away from playing this game. And yeah, guys, I can't wait to be playing this game. But yeah, guys, comment down below on what you think. I'm really interested to see what you guys think, what your perspectives are. Like, yeah, I would love to see what you guys think. And yeah, guys, like, if there's ever any questions, always feel free to comment down below. But yeah, guys, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one, guys.